What's good, guys? It's Brant Buys back with another What Sold video. I'm going to show you a bunch of items I sold online. I'll let you know how much I paid for them, how much they sold for, and where I got them from. It's going to be over a couple weeks of sales starting from the beginning of March. You can see on eBay during those 2 weeks I had 177 sales, about $7,700 total, maybe including Poshmark and Mercari, probably around like 9,400 or so. But yeah, let's go and get started. We'll start with Poshmark. So this first one is a Peter Millar quarter zip pullover. These Peter Millar pullovers typically do well for me. This one in particular is the Crown Comfort Interlock. Now the only reason I knew that is because if you go up here to the style or the material tag, up under it you can see the style code. Just type that in. It'll tell you what exactly which one it is. It's going to help you sell it faster and for more money. But that sold full price for $40. And this is a thrifted item. On my thrifted items, my average cost is around $7 each. Next, we've got some Adidas windbreaker pants. So nothing too special on these, but these nylon pants typically do better. So the windbreaker ones. These even had like a little light stain here at the bottom of the ankle. But yeah, 25 bucks on those. Got a Nike New Tags hat. This was purchased from Dick's Warehouse in store during a sale they were having. I think I paid like $6 or so on it, and it sold for $19. Got a bunch of those. That's the nice thing about those type of sales. You can get multiple items in multiple quantities and just one listing and sell a bunch of them. Got some Aftercoat shorts. Always make an appearance now. Yeah, these just sell well. These nylon shorts. There's the tag there. Usually sell for like 20 to 24 or so, but these sold for 20. Got an Abercrombie and Fitch jacket. Now this one is corduroy Sherpa line, so that's a good thing to look for in a brand like this or similar brands. Yeah, nothing much more to say about that. That sold full price for $60. Next up, I think this was in an older video, but it got returned or canceled or something. But it sold again on Poshmark for a full price of $25, which I think is more than what it sold for last time. But yeah, just a Dude Perfect like basketball jersey. They're a group of YouTubers. If you don't already know, 25 bucks. Got some Polo Ralph Lauren pants. So I grabbed these because they are corduroy. Corduroy pants typically do well in Polo Ralph Lauren, as well as other good brands. So I would look them up if you happen to see them. But let's see, those sell full price. Yeah, full price for $34. I usually sell them for around 30 or so. Next up, good item. This is a Nike ACG puffer jacket. It's got my ghetto hanger holding on there. But yeah, I don't even think this said Nike on it. So yeah, it didn't say Nike on it anywhere, so you just kind of have to know what ACG is, but it's a line of Nike, typically does well. This jacket did really well. It's a puffer vest. It is specifically called the Rope de Dope. Rope de Dope? Yeah, I don't know. But that's the model name of it. And that sold full price for $141. Well, maybe that wasn't full price. That was probably an offer because that's pretty specific. I think I probably had a listed for like 160, maybe something over that, but yep, 141 bucks. Really happy with that sale. Got a vintage Auburn Tigers vest, V-neck vest. This is Russell Athletic, made in USA. Vintage USA Russell Athletic stuff can do well. You know, like blanks can do well, whether it's like a sweatshirt or hoodie or. But yeah, with a sports team, it should do well also. Sold for $28. Got some Wrangler retro jeans that also sold for $28. Again, these make an appearance in a lot of videos, but that's what you're going to be looking for. Most of the Wrangler retros do well for around 30 bucks. Got some Patagonia baggy shorts. These are women's. They're new with tags. They were purchased online during a sale that I called out in the Bread and Butter Reselling group. They were like $15, $14, and these sold for $35. Got a few more of these. Got a Cabela's hoodie. This is a camo. New tags. I found this online clearance. It was like $12. And I took an offer on that one for $25. Since we're moving out of, the cold season, I was okay with taking a lower offer. But got a Polo Ralph Lauren shirt, sold for $23. Nothing too special here, but the reason I grabbed this one is because it is a big and tall size of 3XLT. Big and tall usually does well in Polo Ralph Lauren. When it's got additional, like a model or something specific like this you can add, it's probably going to increase the sell-through rate. So this is the Pima Soft Touch. This also has this flesh pony, the multicolored pony, so that helped as well. Next up, we've got a denim pearl snap. This is West Coast Choppers, Jesse James. There's a tag there. This item also had a fair amount of flaws. They got like some staining there on the sleeve. Kind of hard to tell in the photos, but yeah, a few stains. Also some wear around the corner of the pockets there. But that still ended up selling for $36. Got some Jordan windbreaker pants, sold for $75. These have also made a few appearances in my videos. Again, another item that I called out in the bread and butter reselling group. I think these were around 30 bucks or so, 35, somewhere around $30. And they sold full price for $75. Got a Patagonia sweatshirt. This is women's, size 2XL. Again, with this one, I didn't realize at the time that it was women's, but again, this also has a style code. So after that STY, you can just type in those numbers and it's going to pull up the exact item. It told me this was the Retool half zip, and they ended up selling for, well, went away, but $44 on that one. Next, some Nike flip-flops. Another item I've been selling multiple of. Probably, I don't even know if I have any more left now, but this was from Kohl's in-store clearance. These were around like $9 to $11, and they sold for $28. Again, some more flip-flops that sold for $28. Also bought from an in-store clearance event. These were from Academy in-store. These were less than $10, and they sold for $28. Another item that was called out in the bread and butter reselling group. These are a pair of Converse. They are like a suede low top. Yeah, there was a big Cyber Monday sale that was going on. There were a bunch of different styles of Converse, and they were all going for or selling for like $7 to $11 with free shipping. So you just had to place them in orders of one. So I was just placing multiple orders, getting as many as I could until they kind of stopped the sale. So yeah, let's just say average maybe around 10 bucks on these, and they sold for 50. So really good there. Got a few more styles left, different types, different sizes. So that was a really good sale there. Got an REI co-op flannel. This is a women's flannel. Probably why I sold on Poshmark, but sold for $25. Some REI co-op stuff can do well. Not the quickest sellers, but flannels can do okay sometimes. Convertible pants, yeah, just the more substantial stuff. Got a Nike Georgia Bulldogs football jersey, sold for $35. Good team. Yeah, it's a jersey, so that's why I did well. Got an Amazon jacket, sold for $75. Good sell here. So you can't list this stuff on eBay. You can't list like Amazon or, any delivery service, apparel. I don't want you to impersonate someone, But I still list this on Poshmark and Mercari, and sells fine. But this is a full zip rain jacket, size 3XL, so that's good. I was happy to see this sell full price. I would have been okay taking an offer because I didn't pay much on it, but yeah, sold for $75. Got an Under Armour polo. This did well because this is a thrifted item. This did well because of the color block pattern, also size 3XLT. So big and tall size is going to do better, and then when you have a better design, it's going to increase that even more. 25 bucks on that. Got some Brooks Brothers pants. Reason I grabbed these is because they are seersucker. Usually in this thin pinstripe, you can feel the texture. These sold for $30. So again, kind of like I was mentioning the corduroy pants in Polo Ralph Lauren, seersucker pants in better brands also do well. Another Polo Ralph Lauren item, just a short sleeve polo shirt, size small, so not a great size, but what was good about this is it had the big pony and also this logo right here, which you can call a crest. That's usually going to do well when you have the two, or at least one of the two. Sold for $25. Next, we have some jeans, some Eddie Bauer jeans. The reason I grabbed these is because they are flannel lined, so you can see in my first picture I want to show that. So I got the ankles rolled up there. Those sold for $29. All right, switching over to eBay. Let's go ahead and start with the higher dollar ones. So a few really good items coming up. This first one is a Rain Spooner Godzilla Ultraman shirt. I didn't know who Ultraman was before looking this up, but yeah, I guess it's someone in like the Godzilla realm or whatever. This guy right here. And this shirt was pretty sought after. Size 3XL, so that's good, but that sold full price for $200. Main thing to note is, Rain Spooner shirts typically are going to do well, but especially when it's a collab with, a good brand or something that's just rare in general, it's going to do better. I was actually got scared on this shirt recently because it was being shipped to Hawaii and it got stuck in shipping for like, I don't know, a few days, a week, maybe not quite a week, but they messaged me asking about it. I didn't purchase like any additional insurance on this. I usually don't unless it's a bit higher than this price, but yeah, I submitted a missing mail search and a couple days later they got it tracking and it arrived. So I was very relieved with that. Missing mail search does not always provide me results. Who knows if that even played an impact on it, but yeah. Next up, another shirt. So these were found together. I found a bunch of these at a thrift a while back. And yeah, just a bunch of good like Hawaiian type shirts. And I also don't do like constant markdowns on my store. If I would have, these shirts would probably be marked down a lot more by now. But so this one is a Disney Tommy Bahama. So two great brands right there that, when they collab, that's going to do well. This specific one is like the Enchanted Tiki Room one. They got different types, but I saw this one was selling well. This one sold for $190 to an offer. So really great sale with that. Happy with that. And another shirt that sold for almost $200 is this vintage Harley Davidson. So this is the Thunder and Lightning. It's a good one to be on the lookout for. This is single stitch, made in USA, size 2XL. So a lot of really good things going for it. And that sold for $180. Next up, we have got some, these are just, we're taking a hard turn from some amazing t-shirts to some slip-on shoe covers. These were bought from store, Habitat for Humanity Rehome. You can see if you have any in your area. I'm not going there often just because I'm not going to that city much anymore, but sometimes they can have some good things to be found. I had one of my best bulk purchases there, buying a bunch of smart deadbolts. But this is another thing that I bought I don't know, maybe like 12 of. They were $2.50 and I was selling them for like 22 bucks plus $10 shipping. This person bought 4 of them, so that was like 92 bucks. And again, I paid like 10 bucks total on that. So really great sale there. Unfortunately, I didn't really have anything at the time big enough to fit these all in one box to ship them in, so I just shipped them individually, but still a great profit there. Next up, we've got a blazer. This is a Brooks Brothers. Now, what's good about this one is that it is made with Loro Piana fabric. So whenever you see blazer with Loro Piana, you're definitely going to want to look into it. Now, this is also 100% camel hair, so another good factor to add into that. That sold for $100. Next up, we've got a vintage Jacksonville Jaguars jacket. I got this from the thrift recently. This was rolled out on a new rack, actually on a women's rack. So it doesn't hurt to check those women's racks as well. But yeah, it's a starter pro line. Got this cool pattern to it. Sold pretty quick. Got the spell out there on the back as well. I took an offer of $85 on that one. Next up, another pair of those Converse shoes that I sold on Poshmark as well. So mentioned these were called out in the bread and butter group. Clearance down, maybe like $10, sold for $40. Next, we've got a military jacket. So I'm not very knowledgeable with military stuff, and I'm trying to learn more because a lot of it can be pretty valuable. So whenever I see a unique military item, I'm definitely going to look it up. So just kind of looked it up by this tag here. Looked up flyers, jacket. Added some more keywords, and I saw these were selling well. Had a good sell-through rate. I was actually filming a short form video, and I was putting clothing on. Put this on, and I hear a, and then I noticed the sleeve here. Yeah, but I did realize there was already a little hole there. I just made it worse. So that wasn't great, but still sold for $75, which is really good, especially with that flaw there. Probably wouldn't have got a ton more even if it wasn't for that. I don't know. Maybe like $100, but yep, still happy either way. Next, we've got a Tommy Bahama shirt. So these are Island Zone, just short sleeve t-shirts. Found these together, so I lotted them up. Just what probably wouldn't be as great of a seller on its own, but when you can lot something up like this, it's gonna sell quicker, and you'll still make good money on it. So 3 of those thrifted, sold for $70. But yeah, the Island Zone stuff can typically do well, especially in a big and tall size. Next up, some more Tommy Bahama. This is a Alabama Crimson Tide 3XL Hawaiian. All these pictures are going small on me. 3XL Hawaiian floral shirt. This is also a silk blend, or I don't know if it's 100% silk or a blend. Got the tag upside down, so I can't really see that. 100%. Okay. But yeah, again, Tommy Bahama collabed with a good sports team, so that's going to do well. It's got the good material. It's a good size. Bunch of good things going for it. Sold for $70. I think I found that with those other good shirts above too, if I'm not mistaken. Got some Reef Fanning flip-flops. Found these clearance online. They were like $18, maybe $19. Sold for $43. Got some Nike Alpha Rachis. I've probably had these for a while because it looks like something I would have got at Burlington or Ross or something. Which I haven't been there in a while, but they were probably like $20 or so. 25 at the most, sold for 70. Got some Hey Dude Wallies. These are like some Hawaiian theme luau. I found these clearance online for $20, and these sold for 60. Got a few more pairs of these. Another thrifted item. This is a good thing to look out for. This is a paintball jersey from the brand Dye. I sold one just like this not too long ago for the same price. Sold, or around the same price at least. That sold for $55. So yeah, when you can find apparel from like a unique sport, people are probably willing to pay up on certain stuff. So yep, that's one thing to look out for. Pair of these Hey Dude Wallies. These are called the H2O Tropicals. These were clearance from Academy in store. They were like $14, sold for $50. Another pair of Hey Dude Wallies. These were called out in bread and butter. They were like 20 bucks, I believe. Somewhere around there, sold for 50. Nike hoodie from Academy in store, paid like 14 bucks on it, sold for 50. Let's see, these are two lots of thrifted items. I found a bunch of these Wrangler Pearl Snap shirts, so a few good things going for it. They're Wrangler FR, so flame resistant. They're Pearl Snap, they're size 2XL, so add all those things together, they're going to be desirable. I think I found like 7 of these shirts. I did like 2 or 3 lots of 2 and then one by itself. So we got 2 lots of 2 right here that sold for 50 each, and they actually sold to the same guy, so I could ship them all together, so even better. Got an Outerknown flannel right here. Good brand to be on the lookout for. I think it told me on this one, this is the, okay, well it didn't on this one, but I had another one just like this that told me it was like the blanket shirt or something like that. So I had that in this title as well. But that sold for $54. Got a Dixon flannel, another good flannel brand to be on the lookout for. So this one was a collab with Snap-on, so the tools company, size 2XL, good size, sold for $50. So yeah, if you don't already know Dixon, they do a lot of collabs with brands. So, you know, if it's a collab with a good brand, it's probably going to do better. Another pair of Converse. These were also from that call out in bread and butter. Maybe around 9 bucks or so on these. They sold for 50. We've got some of these Nike padded sports bras. Sold 2 of these for $60. I bought these online clearance. They were 5 bucks a piece. You can see this one actually has a policy violation, which was unfortunate because I had like 4 of these in different sizes listed, all with like multiple sales. But I had to go through and end all the listings and relist them because I accidentally had them set to also be able to ship to Europe. And that's a no-go with new Nike stuff. So I had to add that to my shipping policies that do not include Europe. Got a thrifted item. This is a Sorel canvas vest, Sherpa lined. Yeah, some Sorel stuff can do well, you know. I also do make boots and stuff like that to do well. But that sold for $50. Got some BKE pants. BKE men's pants usually do well, but these are new tags, so they did better. They are like Cool Max, so they must be like performance style, at least somewhat. They sold for $45. A couple more of those. Hey Dudes. Well, 3 more of them. Got a Polo Ralph Lauren short sleeve shirt. This was nothing too crazy on this one, but 2XB. I'm not getting all of the 2XB stuff just because it doesn't do as well as the larger, big and tall sizes. But this is a pretty good pattern. Sold for 20 or 21.50. So nothing crazy there. A couple of these Nike hoodies got from Academy in store. Again, around like 14 bucks on those. Both sold for around 40. Couple pair of Reef sandals, also from Academy in store. Those were from like last year's clearance event though. Both sold for $38. Both were probably around like 13 bucks. Got a thrifted item, Nike Alabama Crimson Tide football jersey. This is Tua Tagovailoa. At least I think that's how you say his last name. Yeah, obviously, well, not obviously, but he's playing in the NFL now. But this also had a few stains on it. Yep, they're pretty light. You can't see them great in the photos, but that's still sold for $40. So happy with that. Pair of these Zero barefoot shoes I mentioned in a previous video, but I found these clearance online for like 15 bucks, I believe. And I was just buying more as they continue to sell. Sold this for $38, but they're sold out now, unfortunately. Some more Reef shoes. These were from clearance. These were from Kohl's in-store clearance. I think I paid like 12 bucks or so. Sold for 35. Another one of those Nike hoodies. New York Mets, full zip, Reebok, windbreaker. Um, just a kind of bit of a more substantial item. A good sports team with a decent brand, sold for 40 bucks. Got some vintage Nike windbreaker pants that sold for $35. These are cargo, so it's going to do better. Usually sell for a little bit more money. Yep, 35 bucks. Polo Ralph Lauren full zip hoodie. Full zip Polo Ralph Lauren hoodies usually do well. Size 2XL, so that's going to help it even more. Sold for 32 bucks. Nike Air Jordan sweatpants. Jordan pants are going to do well. Size 3XL, so again, that helped it. Those sold for $34. Got a couple Travis Matthew hats. Two of them sold for $38. Got these from Dick's Warehouse. They were like $5 each probably on these. So 10 into 38. But actually I recently did a big bulk sale on these, so I don't know exactly when it's going to be, but in a couple videos from now or so, you have to be on the lookout for that. It's pretty good. Got a Polo Ralph Lauren, kind of like rugby shirt. So it's got these rubber buttons. Usually when it's a polo like that with the rubber buttons, I'll classify it as a rugby. It's also got this smaller, but it's got the crest logo, so that's a good keyword to add with your Polo Ralph Lauren stuff. Sold for $35. A couple more of these Nike hoodies. Already went over those. Really great brand here. The sell-through rate on these shirts, pretty crazy. And so whenever you see a sell-through rate like that, definitely list on the higher end of the market. Even on my old dirty backboard. But the brand is Collars & Co. So it's like a short sleeve dress shirt. It's got a really stiff collar though, so you'll be able to tell. Yeah, that sold for $36. I'm not going to go over everything because I have so many sales here, so I might have to skip over a couple that I don't think are really important. But got some denim baggy shorts. I thought these were pretty cool. It's like kind of like patchwork denim all over it. I just knew it'd be something that's in style. So not based off the brand. The brand is Source Jeans, but just style based. Sold for $33. Another Alabama Crimson Tide football jersey. Got an Echo Unlimited hoodie. This sold for $32. So one of those Y2K brands that can do okay in certain stuff. I'll just be careful with it because not all of it's going to do great. But that sold for $32. Crocs from Academy and Store. Flip-flops from Academy. Got some Nike pants. These sold for $33. So these are the club woven pants. So you can just look up under the style code. It'll tell you there. But yeah, these type of Nike pants always sell well. Got an Affliction shirt. So one of those Y2K brands that also can do well. This is reversible, so there's the other side of it. That sold for $33. We've got a sweater. This is like a chunky cable knit, like a tennis sweater where it has this, I don't know, kind of striped here on the neck. Don't know anything about this brand, Newberry. I think it was made in England, or maybe I'm thinking of something else. But yeah, not the brand that sold this, just the type of the item. Nice tennis sweater with the cable knit. Sold for $30. Some Jordan shorts that were online, probably around like $12, sold for $33. Vintage Sears Fieldmaster flannel. I've been finding types of these items recently, or similar ones. This one sold full price for $30. Looks like it even had a couple of flaws there, but these vintage quilt lined flannels have been doing well for me. That sold for $30. Now, obviously, they're not going to do as well as we're moving into warmer months, but some vintage camo cargo pants, $30 on these. Vintage camo pants usually going to do well. These are Real Tree, so that's a good camo brand, or yeah, good camo. I've got a Vineyard Vine shirt, Christmas one, online for like 12 bucks. Sold for $39. Maybe it was like 15. Thrifted item, Nike Alabama Crimson Tide hoodie. It's a short sleeve hoodie. Usually like short sleeve or sleeveless hoodies are going to do better just because they're pretty unique. I sold for $30. Um, Zero restriction jacket. I had a custom logo right there on it. Some zero, not all zero restriction stuff's going to do well. Obviously the more substantial items will do better, but I've noticed I haven't been picking it up as much recently. But that sold for $30. Reef flip flops, vintage Nike windbreaker pants on this 90s tag. These pictures will load. I will show it. They will not. That was $30. Some more vintage camo pants. Now I want to pull it up. Okay. Yep, just that white tag, 90s. Some vintage camo pants. These are lined. Brand is Duck's Back. I've been doing okay with some of their stuff, but not all of it. Right there. Sold for $29. Kentucky Wildcats, Tommy Bahama polo. If you can find a sports team with a Tommy Bahama shirt, it's probably going to do well. This is also the Island Zone, so that's also good. Sold for $31. Nike golf pants. These were just like some more substantial Nike pants, so I looked them up using the style code. But yeah, they're storm fit, waterproof. Sold for 30 bucks. Peter Millar polo. The reason this one sold well is even though it has a custom embroidery here, the pattern on this is like it's for a smoker. So we have got some cigarettes. We got like a lighter. Got a cigarette box. Got some like tobacco leaves. Yeah, just a bunch of smoking stuff. So yeah, drinking, smoking stuff like that is probably going to do well, with a golf themed item. 30 bucks on that. Got some military pants. This is OCP camo. This camo pattern is a fairly good camo pattern. If you see a pattern similar like this, but it has some of these lines going vertical, so up and down, it's going to be multicam, which is probably a little better, but realistically, they're pretty similar. Some people use both the words on eBay anyways. Got some, trying to remember the right pronunciation for this, gerbode? Gerbode? Sold for $30 though. This is some sweatpants. I've had these for a little while. Jeans usually do well in this brand, or certain shorts. They got ones with like the shuttle tape on it that do really well. Also had a little snag there. And it was missing the drawstring, so probably was a slower seller. But that sold for 30 bucks. Got a hook. I want to call this brand Huck, but I guess it's Hook. This is a like boonie hat camo. Bought this online clearance. Can't remember exactly how much it was. Probably around like 12 bucks. Sold for 30. Polo Ralph Lauren shirt. This is in that black watch plaid. So that's a desirable pattern in Polo Ralph Lauren. Sold for 30 bucks. Cabela's vest in this orange. So this bright orange camo pattern is, or not the pattern, but the bright orange, I guess it's called like blaze. So you can, orange blaze or whatever, you can include blaze in there. But yeah, I usually do well with this type of stuff when I can find it for a decent price. That sold for $27. Another big and tall Polo Ralph Lauren short sleeve polo for 26. Long sleeve big and tall Polo Ralph Lauren for 28. Some Ariat jeans for 25. These had a few flaws, so they went for a bit less. But I've mentioned even flawed, if I can get these cheap enough, I'll still pick them up just because they sell really well. Some BKE men's jeans. These are the Derricks, sold for 25. Nike track pants for 28. Well, these are kind of like in that windbreaker material, but they're probably just polyester, which is why I led with track pants, but also included windbreaker. Yeah, when they're in that material that feels like windbreaker or nylon, I'll add windbreaker in there and usually charge a little more. Sold for 28. We got some Fox racing shorts. Been doing fairly well with certain Fox racing stuff. These did take a little while to sell. They sold for $25. I think they had a couple little stains here and there, but that's pretty expected with motocross stuff. Nike windbreaker pants, a couple of those for 27, 28 bucks. Big and tall, just a long sleeve Polar Ralph Lauren t-shirt, still sold for 28 bucks. Nike full zip camo hoodie, gonna do well. Sold for $25. Got a Auburn Tigers Under Armour football jersey, sold for 27. Wrangler FR jeans. Wrangler FR jeans can do okay if you can get them cheap enough. They have pretty decent sell-through rate. Those sold for $25. Another sweater, another like chunky cable knit sweater. This is Brooks Brothers, also made in USA. Also had a couple small stains though. So maybe it would have went for a little more if it wasn't for that, but they sold for 27 bucks. Some more Nike pants. These Nike running pants have seemed to sell better for me. So they might say running on the drawstring, but you can usually tell by the look of them. They're going to be kind of more tapered, more slim. But yeah, just look up the style code to see exactly which ones they are. That told me, I don't even know. Oops. I don't know exactly how to pronounce that. Is that Phenom? I don't know. But yeah, those sold for $30. See, we've got some Levi's jeans. This is an older item, so not great there. Military pants in this desert like camo pattern. This is not a great camo pattern. This is a bit older, but I'd probably still grab it if it was really cheap. So for 25. Vintage Polar Ralph Lauren chino pants. These made in USA Polar Ralph Lauren pants have done well for me. Those sold for 24 bucks. Got a Ducks Unlimited crew neck sweatshirt. Some of the more substantial Ducks Unlimited stuff, or like the outer sweatshirts, have done better for me. It's also had a couple little snags, but sold for $25. Let's see. Got a Wrangler workwear. It's like a canvas full snap hooded shirt. Sold for $25. Got a Nike Georgia Bulldogs, just a long sleeve dry fit shirt. Golf, it's got the little mock neck, sold for $25. Another Nike shirt. This is a Pro Combat shirt, so this had a bunch of different keywords in it. Usually the more the better. So Nike Pro Combat Dry Fit Hyper Warm Knit Compression. That's pretty much my whole title right there almost. But that sold for $27. So I was mentioning earlier that blank Russell Athletic made in USA stuff can do well. This is similar to that, but this is Lee Sport heavyweight. Probably not the best. This had some flaws. Maybe I should have held off on it, but still sold for $24. Under Armour golf vest. This one is, you can tell it's more modern, a nicer type of vest, performance style. Can't remember exactly how I found this style name of Daytona. Maybe I did a Google image search. It's usually what I go to if it doesn't have a style code, or maybe I just saw it in a similar listing, but sold for $25. More track pants. Yep, skipping over some of this because it's repetitive and I have too much to go through. Some Task pants. So this brand's okay. Some of the better items could do well, like pants or outerwear, vests, whatever. It's got this panda logo. It's gonna be made with bamboo usually. Took an offer on this one for $22. Let's see, you got a Polar Ralph Lauren sweater vest. Again, big and tall size. That's why it sold well. Sold for $22. Nothing great there. Just want to get it moved. Got an Under Armour Project Rock shirt. This is like a lightweight, long sleeve, hooded shirt. So Project Rock stuff's gonna have that bull logo there. It's Dwayne The Rock Johnson's uh, whatever brand with Under Armour, if you didn't already know. That stuff's usually gonna do well, at least if you can get it cheap, and the better items obviously are gonna do better. But so for 22. Arkansas Razorbacks jersey. Not a great team, and it's not even a great brand either, but I got this cheap enough where it was worth it. But that sold for $22. Let's see. AFCO shorts for 22. Got an Under Armour short sleeve like fishing shirts. So these Under Armour shirts typically do well for me if I can get them cheap. So these performance style shirts is usually going to be vented in the back. Yep, that one is there, kind of on the sleeves. Whether it's long sleeve or short sleeve, I've had success with them. Just don't sell for a lot. But they sold for $22. I've got another kind of similar shirt, but this is in REI Co-op. But again, also like a fishing shirt or hiking shirt, whatever you want to call it. This is a big and tall size, so that helped it. It's also got the venting here on the back. Also, $22 on that one. Got a Bad Birdie hat. These were clearance from Dick's Warehouse. I got a bunch of these. You can see 27 of them. And these were like $3 and some change. I can't remember exactly how much, but 3 something. It's pretty insane. So they were 75% off of the sticker price, but they were clearance down even more to what the sticker price was telling me. So I was happy with that. But $22 on that one. Gymshark joggers, Gymshark stuff does well for me. Maybe not just like basic shirts or tank tops or whatever, but pants, different types of outerwear. Sold for $20. It's a bunch of track pants and polos and joggers. I think we're just going to leave it there. But thank you so much if you stuck around to the end of the video. I really do appreciate it. If you would leave a like, leave a comment if you have one, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.